Welcome to the Healers Café, conversations on health and healing with Dr. Manon.
So welcome to the Healers Café. And today I have with me Judith Joy. And she began her professional career after graduating with an undergraduate business degree and a master's of arts in teaching. She then taught elementary school, followed by writing a business newsletter for an audience of 500,000 before becoming fascinated with the mind-heart connection. And yeah, you've written 2 books, Teenagers and How to Find the Boyfriend of Your Life. We'll put your books underneath the description. But basically, your passion is to help people manifest their dreams and shift their energy to create the life they choose. So welcome. And I'm just going to ask you straight off the bat, what got you into this?
Amazingly, headaches.
Headaches. Okay.
Headaches.
Let's go for that.
I was married to the wrong guy. And
that could be a headache.
pretty much as soon as I got married, I started getting headaches. And so we went to Mayo and they said, oh, you have headaches, take Excedrin. And then we went to a clinic for headaches and they said, oh, here, have some drugs. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really into that. Then we went to a Catholic hospital and they said, put your husband before yourself. Honest to God, they said that. And I went, okay, I'm out of here. And so I started all the alternative stuff. And I was going to a chiropractor because I was a dancer at the time, just because I liked it, not doing it professionally. And everybody there was going to the Dr. Wally. Well, Dr. Wally was sharing a space with another chiropractor. And I kept looking over going, well, what are they doing over there? What are they doing over there? And it was a little bit different. So I made an appointment over there. And that chiropractor said, there's this guy in the back room and he's tapping on heads and doing this stuff. I don't know what it is, but people are getting better. And the guy in the back room was Dr. Janer, and I've been working with him for like 22 years. We started out as patients and now we're colleagues. And he just kept pushing me in a direction. And he totally believed in me, which is what I needed. I needed someone to believe in me until I could believe in myself. And he'd say, well, go talk to this person or go take this class, read this book, look at this article, look at this video, whatever it was. And it just fascinated me. And the more I did it, I was like, oh, well, I can do this. And the first thing I did was become a healer. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then I sort of went into consciousness transformation. And I went, oh yeah, well, it's the same thing. Healing is applied to the body and consciousness transformation is applied to life. And then I'm like, okay, why did certain things work in my life and other things didn't? And then I sort of narrowed it down and I went, oh, that's it. I'm going to teach everybody how to work with their life so that they can have the life that they dream of and they can have a life that works for them instead of one that doesn't work for them.
Okay, well, that seems like simple.
It actually is very simple. And what I'm really good at is taking the super complicated idea and going, whoop, okay, right. This is what it is. And it's not that I have all these fancy degrees of anything.
No.
I even
they can get in the way, that.
Yeah. I just went with, that's interesting. That piqued my interest. And did it work or not? And does it work for me? Does it work for other people? For example, I've got 4 children and my third, Shoshana, she lets me use her name all the time. When she was young, she had depression and anxiety. And she's been in therapy, and she tried a treatment center, and she tried pharmaceuticals and blah, 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 all that stuff. At 21, she came to me and said, none of this is working. Teach me what you do.
Mm.
So to a mother's heart, it's like, oh, it's like so exciting. And we started weekly lunches, and I started teaching her all of this. And she was able to let go of depression. And she's now one of the happiest people I know. And she's totally embracing life. And it's great. It's fabulous.
So, okay. Are you able to share a little bit the path or the process? I mean, I'm assuming it's about understanding that we can make choices on some level, because most people don't realize
it.
It seems so obvious, but it's like, it's true. It's like, if you feel like life's happening to you, then it's like, well, where do you make a choice? Once you understand that you're creative energy, then you can choose. Right?
Okay, so here's the thing. Before you make choices, you have to raise your vibration. David Hawkins talks about a consciousness scale,
Right.
from 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
And these over here are what I'm looking at as low vibe.
Mhm.
This is where you have depression, anxiety, shame, blame, frustration, all of that is down here. Then you move up a little bit and you've got anger.
Mhm.
Anger is actually a higher vibration
Right. Mhm.
than apathy or depression.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if you think when you are depressed or apathetic, you're laying on the couch and you don't have any energy to move.
Mhm.
You get up to anger, you've got some energy to move. You can do something.
Mhm.
Go up a little bit higher for pride, and that's where the Marines are. And
Mhm.
that's where it's like, yeah, I can do it. But you go up just a little bit more, where you take responsibility for everything in your life.
Right.
And then you tip over into the high vibe, and then, whoa, watch out. Because once you take responsibility for everything, you're not blaming anybody else.
Mhm. Mhm.
And even if you are, it's a temporary blame, and you go, oh, wait, there's something in me that this is showing me.
Mm.
And then when you've hit that point of accepting the responsibility, you've got compassion, you've got kindness, you've got gratitude, love, peace, joy, calm, whatever combination you want. And when you're operating from that energy, you can think it and have it become reality.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be that it's so hard.
Right.
Yeah, in low vibe, yeah, it is hard. It's hard to get the energy to do anything. And it is a forced reality because you have to force things to happen.
Mhm.
When you're in the high vibe,
Mhm.
it's a power reality because you're stepping into your power. And guess what? Everybody has the ability to use their power.
Mhm.
It's a choice.
Right. Oh, I love the way you've put that together.
Thank you.
No, it's interesting, yeah. Because I see choice, but you're right. It's not, you can't make choice if you're in fear, or if you're in anger is different, because you may make a wrong choice, but you'll make a choice, or at least you think
Right.
you made a choice.
Right.
But it's true that if you're in anxiety or you're,
Yeah, the world right now is in a whole lot of fear.
yeah,
And it's like being strangled, and you can't
it's
do
paralyzing.
anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the next phase is going to be anger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm putting out into the world that the truth is revealed,
Mm.
whatever that truth is.
Mhm.
And if we go through the anger, with luck, it'll be fast.
Right.
And maybe we can skip over the anger.
Mhm. Mhm.
And maybe we can all choose to take responsibility for everything in our lives,
Right. Yeah.
and then create a life that works for us.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So how do you see, like, are we just born into a energy vortex or field that is this or that because of our types of parenting, or because of this is, what we're destined to experience or go through? Or how do you see how this happens?
That's where choice comes in. You may be born at this level over here.
Mm.
Do you choose to stay there? Or
But do
does this
you
look
know,
really good over here? Most people move 5, 10 points on a scale.
but isn't that because the idea of choice isn't really there, and responsibility isn't really
I
there?
think the idea of choice is there, but being able to give the choice power.
Right. Yeah. In other words, to actually do something with it.
Right. So
Right.
even if you're over here and you're in shame and blame,
Mm-hmm.
and you just move a little bit, and then you 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 move a little bit, eventually you're going to make it up here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people can be here and go, whoa, I'm all the way over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But your body isn't used to that. And your body always returns to what it's used to.
Mm-hmm.
So you go, I'm up here. Whoa, this is great. I'm having so much fun, blah, 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 blah. Whoa, that headache's going to bring you back here. And you're going, okay. Now, do I choose to stay here? Nope. I'm moving up again.
Mm-hmm.
Do I choose to stay here? Nope. Eventually, your low will be what your high used to be.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's seems like there is a progressive
Right.
ability.
It's like one in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I was complaining about my husband
Mm-hmm.
for 3 weeks straight
Mm-hmm.
on really stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just got in this cycle of complaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this massive cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to laugh at myself because I know that when my vibration goes down, I'm more likely to catch a cold.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Just because everything is like, oh.
Yeah.
So I started laughing at myself. And then I was teaching some classes. And I came home one day and I was like so high. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is great. Because I was teaching a workshop at the homeless shelter and I felt great. And these people are wonderful. And oh my goodness, and they're just sucking up the information and da 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 da. And I made the choice very emphatically that I'm going to be high vibe no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything shifted to allow that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Right. But you made the choice because we just felt better.
It felt so good. But the thing is, once you taste this over here,
Yeah.
no matter how many times you fall back,
Yeah.
you're going, oh, but that looks good. I'm
Right.
going over there. That feels good. I'm going
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. And I think that it feels good, right? That's the thing. It's actually, yeah, I think I don't want to do this left and right because not only am I potentially dyslexic, the screen is inverted. So
it doesn't matter which side you're on.
No, I'm joking. I'm trying to follow your line. I'm just not sure which side is.
If your low vibe is to the left or your low vibe is to the right.
No, I was thinking for the public to not be confused as we're pointing.
It could be low to high.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think, for me, I think the high is just, it's not just becomes comfortable. It's, it just feels good, right? Like that's it, so you get to live, in a sense, the life you love,
Yes.
even if there's insane chaos.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't make you what's the word in English? Not compassionate. Like I'm in fact an empath. So like a lot of things I feel, but I still choose
Choose to be happy
joy.
anyway.
Yeah, it's not even really anymore a choice. It just is, that,
Right.
because it feels good. Like
Right.
my
Well,
body's better with that.
we do things for the feeling they give us.
Yeah, totally.
Have you ever walked into your closet or stood in front of your closet and go, I don't have anything to wear?
No, that's not my closet, unfortunately.
No, but it's the feeling of, I'm going out for dinner. I want to put something on. I can't find the right thing to wear.
No,
Oh, it's all this yuck.
right,
What you're actually saying is, I'm looking for a feeling,
right,
and I'm looking for this outfit to match the feeling,
right. Yeah,
and
that
for this
makes sense.
outfit to give me the feeling.
Mhm.
With the work that I do, let's build up the feeling so that you
Right.
feel really good. And okay, which outfit's going to match that? I'll take that one.
Yeah, and today it's red, today it's blue. Like,
Right. It's not that the outfit is giving you the feeling, the
No.
outfit is matching the feeling that you have.
Yeah. I can see that. So in one of your, let me get the right words. You said, surviving your teenager. So
Yes.
the title itself, okay, but the title itself sounds like the parent in that condition is the one that is in the victim perspective, if they're surviving their teenager. Like how are
Subtitle is "and being happy anyway."
right? Okay, I missed that piece. Okay. I was gonna say, okay, that seems inconsistent with your message, but now it all makes sense. Okay, yeah. So like in a few words, people can go get the book, but what's the lesson there? What is it that people need to or could understand if they wanted to?
It's up to you how you want to feel. Your teenager is doing what teenagers do.
Right.
And part of what teenagers do is they've grown up with your rules and society rules.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to them to say, does this work for me?
Mm-hmm.
And let me experiment.
Right.
And they're going to experiment, and they're going to create bad choices. As a parent, I always had the feeling I would like them to experiment at home. I would like them to make the bad choices at home. Because if I wait until they go to college, because they've been perfect all the way through school, and now they start it, then possibly it's going to go really bad.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Hi, I'm Dr. Manon Bolliger, and I wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching these podcasts. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Also, feel free to leave comments and like it. This way, more people get to find out about this work and about other choices for health. So I think it's really important that we all share this information. I have a free gift to you. It's a 7-sequence email that has tips for every day, and it's a little insight about how to live your life when it comes to health. And it's very much built on how I managed to overcome stage 4 cancer and what it took. So I would love you to have this, and thank you once again for listening to these podcasts. Interesting, yeah.
You know, with the 4 kids, 3 of them I did this with. Mm-hmm. And 3 of them, by the time they got to college, they were pretty self-sufficient. Yeah, they made some mistakes in college, but nothing drastic. Mm-hmm. Shoshana, because of the treatment centers and the boarding school, and she was very, very tied down in high school. College, whoa, watch out. She was let loose on the world.
Mhm, mhm,
And it was a completely different experience for her.
mhm, mhm. Mm.
So most people want their kids to change, not realizing that it's them. As the parent, I need to change. I need to open up my acceptance. I need to allow for things to be different than what I thought they should be.
Mhm, mhm,
And that doesn't mean that you're going to let your kid shoplift,
mhm.
because part of showing that your kid is doing something wrong is that there are consequences.
Mhm.
And you're the one that goes, no, that didn't work for me. I'm not going to have a kid that does this. And whatever the consequences that you decided on, be solid in it, but still be at peace within yourself.
Mhm, mhm.
The difference is, oh no, they shoplifted, and oh no, they did this, and oh no, let me talk about it, and 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 let me talk about it. And I keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Guess what? What you focus on is what you get.
Mhm.
If you focus on the problem, you're going to get more problems.
Mhm, mhm. Yep.
Deal with it, done, over with. Now focus on how good this kid is.
Mhm.
This kid is amazing at math. Oh my goodness, let me tell you about his math teacher. His math teacher called me thrilled because he understood some deep concept of blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
And you just start blasting that to the world, and the kid wants attention. So now he's going to step into the space of, whoa, she believes in me. And look at what she's telling everybody.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I think, I mean, one thing that I'm saying one thing, there may be more things I agree with,
Yeah, 12, 13,
you know,
14. whatever.
but I think it's to believe in your kid, right? In your child, because but to believe in your child, you have to believe in yourself,
Yes.
right? And that's,
You
that's
have to know how to believe.
exactly. You know, absolutely, because the thing is, the word mistake, I have like, okay, I can't know that it's a mistake. I mean, yes, shoplifting has consequences, but
Yeah.
many of the things that we call mistakes, I kind of not, I don't see them that way. I thought, oh, okay, now you
That's an
figured,
interesting way of looking at it.
yeah, you figured this out. Okay, good. Now, now you know that. Like,
If you can drop the word interesting into the sentence, then you can shift the energy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that kid came home after having, let's say, a fight at school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was an interesting choice for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your principal called me and I had an interesting conversation.
Right. Exactly.
Drop the word interesting in there and it sort of takes the steam out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 No, I very much feel that way, because it's like, I want to stay really curious.
Yeah.
Curious, why do people do what they do? How does life bring opportunity for them to, I remember one call I had from school from the principal, and my daughter had stood up for another child
Good
who,
for her.
yeah, I'm trying not to judge it, but
It's strength of character.
it is strength of character, absolutely. And so that child needed to go to the washroom, and the teacher was being a complete, we don't need to use words there, but it's like, so I don't remember the exact details, because that's the nature of thoughts. You distort, turn, twist, forget, delete, whatever. And we only remember maybe 50% accurately, but it was something like this. This is just in case she's listening, but she basically said something of this nature, like, she's got to go, like, don't you understand, women have periods or something like this. It's like, it's not optional. you know like, and she went out, and then she was brought to the to the front desk and to principal office, and yeah, and it's like, wow, it was an interesting thing, and it's like, wow, I recognized in her this incredible power to stand up for people, and I thought, wow, this
That's
is
wonderful.
amazing. Did you notice this? Like, I knew.
She probably looked at you like, well, yeah, of course. I've
I
always
know. Well, and now she's extremely strong-willed. We don't always agree, but I love her for being very clear. Like, so, it's an interesting thing. And then maybe something will shift that, like, we don't know how we're all made up, like what all the pieces that are learning lessons that shift our understanding of life, right? So
true. So true.
Okay, now let's go to the husband. What was the second book?
Your future lover.
Your
With
future
your book boyfriend to life.
Okay, from boyfriend to.
Bring your book boyfriend to life.
Okay, so tell us about that.
I had heard about this method of writing letters and journaling to your husband as if he was already there. And I went, okay, I'll give it a try, see if it works. So I wrote these journal entries, and some were like a paragraph long and some were 12 pages long, whatever. And I did it at night and a couple times in the morning. And then I put it away in the nightstand. And 14 months go by, and I'm cleaning, and I go, oh my goodness, I've got a journal. And I'm thinking, oh, it's nothing in it. It's fresh. It's wonderful. I open it up and I'm like, oh, there's writing. And then I start reading it and I went, huh, this is the guy I just met. Look at that. It says right here that he's going to make me a better me. Oh my goodness, I just said that to him. And I remember saying that my next husband's going to be a chiropractor, and this guy's a chiropractor. And look at this. And in the journal I had written, I don't know if you're interested in politics, but I'm not. Politics is his soap opera. I should have been more careful what I'd written in the journal.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it was like all of this, and I'm like, okay, this is something that worked for me. And this was like 9.5 years ago that I met him, and we've been married 7 years. And I'm like, wow, I've got to share this with people. And so a big part of this book is the journals, the journal entries themselves. But each chapter, it's talking about a principle of how to manifest. Like if you have allowance, if you change your perspective, if you change your vibration, those are all ways to manifest. And then it says, here's a journal entry that sort of applies to it as much as it can. And oh, by the way, this is how it showed up in my life.
Interesting. Yeah. I just had this thought when you're sharing that. And because I've been somewhat resistant to journaling, but I did journal when I was in a very difficult relationship. And I journaled every day because it felt like I needed to record what I was experiencing, because otherwise I wouldn't believe it. I literally.
Well, there's a lot of different types of journaling. Some types of journaling is a brain dump.
Right.
Let me just get it out of my head so it doesn't take up space anymore.
Yeah.
Just write it. And this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, the end, then, and then, and then. And then you've got the heart dump.
Yeah, I think it's more a heart dump that I was doing.
Okay.
The chronology barely matters to me, but.
And you've got the forward focused. There's a book, I can't remember, Scripting Your Life or something like that, but it talks about writing as if it already happened.
Right.
And this particular author says you do it for every day. And then you can do it for a week or a month or the year.
Mhm.
And then you look back and go, well, last year I wrote that this is how I would feel on this day. And all of these amazing things happen. And then you sort of compare. But according to this author, if you do it daily,
Mhm.
even if it's a trip to the grocery store,
Mhm.
I'm going to walk through the grocery store and things are going to fall in my cart.
Mhm.
And then things start happening to, like, someone bumps something and it falls in your cart. And you go, oh, there it is.
Finding the proof, yeah. But you know what I found interesting though in this, not the heart dump, okay,
Okay.
is also what happens with the subconscious. Because when you're writing, so I wrote in my diary, which I didn't discover till much later. I wrote, "This is the day my cancer starts." And I actually developed stage 4 cancer,
Mhm.
but I wasn't aware that I had written this.
We
So
are most definitely, most people are not aware of what they are saying or thinking.
yeah, and clearly, because I was just like, putting my, my what I'm feeling, what's going on. Sometimes I would pick a card or I would do things that I would not normally believe or count
Right.
on. But it's like sometimes you feel just so desperate. Any insight, let me see how that shifts me and changes me. Why is this happening? That kind of stuff, Anyway, so I have all kinds of, writings on that. But when I found that, I was like, wow, this is, it's an interesting thing. So
Look at how powerful of a manifester you are.
oh, exactly. That's the problem too, in the sense that, you know, go back to what you've written and make sure, like, change the course. Like if I knew that subconsciously, imagine if I had taken faster action.
Or if you had recognized it in the moment and said, no, that's not true.
Exactly, which did not happen that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you learn from the cancer?
Well, I learned several things, is that you cannot artificially remove a cancerous organ without removing the cancerous relationship.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing. It's like, it time to go. And I was kind of the strong person that it's fine. I understand everyone has their stuff. So extremely accepting, because I'm a happy person. I always have been very joyful. So I wasn't being hurt in my joy. It was more that I was overly accepting of behaviors and things that really, why would I want a life like this?
There's a difference between acceptance and discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between judgment and discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And discernment is the ability to say, this is my line, you've crossed it, goodbye.
Right. Yeah. And I think I was believing that I was strong enough. That was the story, that I understood that if a person had a really hard life and a hard time, then I was like, oh, okay, I understand, how. And so it was like an excess of passion, compassion, that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, wait a minute here. It's still, I get to choose, like,
Is it your job to make somebody else happy?
it's not. And I totally get that, and
Yeah.
it's difficult, because even with the adult kids, I want them to be happy. And it's like, well, no, they're gonna figure this out. And they are, like, they are figuring this out. And but that's definitely where you run over feeling somehow you're responsible. And self-responsibility ends at that. You're not responsible for everybody else's trip on this world.
Very true. Very true.
Anyway, I think our time is like going so
Oh my
quick.
goodness.
Already,
Really?
yeah. I call this conversations because they really are. So, but Judith, any last statement you want to leave everyone with?
Yeah, I love helping people. And I want to help people create a life that works for them. And I do this through personal coaching, group coaching, workshops. They're workshops that I design, workshops of, you may get together a group of friends or colleagues or whatever, and hey, let's do a workshop. And I've got a lot of free stuff on my website, yeswithjoy.com. And, it's like, I've got videos on there. I do micro mini workshops, 3 minutes. That's
wow.
it. And it's your moment of joy. And I've got blogs on there going back years, and I give just tons and tons of information. So even if you never use the coaching or the workshops, then, by all means, get the information.
I was going to say, enjoy.
and enjoy life.
You will
Really
enjoy your website.
enjoy. In fact, I changed my name when I got divorced. I changed my name to Joy.
Okay.
And then I went through the court system, changed it, I get home and my sister says, you do realize that's your stripper name. I'm like, what are you talking about? Judith, Nan, Joy. Judith and Joy.
That's
And I'm like, okay.
It all makes sense.
I got a stripper name.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Judith Joy. It was great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café with Dr. Manon. For more information, go to drmanonbolliger.com.